What's up, guys? I'm Sparkster28, and welcome to episode 10 of Sparks Talks. Double digits, we did it. In today's episode, I will be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And all of the changes I've noticed, and I've got with me a special guest, one of my friends, Mega. Say hi.
Yo, well,
And yeah, about the changes of Yu-Gi-Oh! This isn't something I just realized. I've realized this for a long time. I'd say ever since 5Ds started. I just wanted to talk about it since I recently, well, not recently, a while back actually, I saw the movie The Dark Side of Dimensions, and after that I started watching the new series Vrains, and yeah, seeing the old and the brand new, you can't help but notice all the stuff that's changed over the years, both with the show and with the actual card game. So Mega, you and I used to play the card game like back in school, right?
yeah, we did. It was a while ago.
This did we start in middle or high school? Do you remember?
We started in I would say middle school.
Actually, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, middle school. And we started. Yeah, that's right. Because we started because the day that the cards started getting released in real life, the next day I went to school and I saw pretty much everyone had Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And this was
Hmm.
back when it was just the original series, no GX, no 5Ds, just original Yu-Gi-Oh.
Hmm.
Back when the
Yep.
only oh go ahead.
Yep. That's right.
Back when the only unique summons were fusion and ritual summons. uh, and with the new summons, how are you with the new summoning methods they have now?
I'm pretty decent up to uh my best is synchro summoning, and then there is exceed summoning, which is my second.
Yeah, with me, I'm a little used to synchro summoning. I haven't really done that in real life because I don't play the card game in real life anymore. But I do have Dual Transfer for the Wii, and that's a 5Ds game, so I've done a few synchro summonings in that. Um, I do understand how XZ summoning works because I did watch a bit of Zexo. I didn't really care for it too much, but that might have been because it was the 4 Kids dub. And, and then when you and I had a duel one time, I was able to do an XZ summon in real life.
Yeah,
That's
you're using my exceed my
yeah,
special exceed deck.
that's the only time I've done an XZ summon. And after that, oh yeah, after that that's Arc 5 with Pendulum summoning. I've never done that.
Eh, I haven't done it either, but I do know how to do it.
Yeah, I think I do understand how it works. Been a while since I've seen Arc 5, and oh yeah, and with Vrains it got Link summoning. I still don't really understand how that works.
I haven't seen that series yet.
Yeah, I, they're probably not going to dub it until they're done dubbing Arc 5. So in your opinion, how do you feel about all the changes that have happened with the card game and the show?
All the card game in the card games in the show, well, the it progressively got faster,
Mm-hmm.
and once certain cards and archetypes got faster, they had to speed up the game to match those archetypes.
Yeah, I have noticed that. That's true. I will notice how even way back in season 1 during the Duelist Kingdom arc, back when the card game wasn't real yet, and they just
Yeah,
pulled pretty much anything out of their ass. There were some duels that took forever. Like I believe the Yugi and Pegasus duel took 5 episodes.
yeah, it did.
It's like you think it wouldn't take that long because they only have 2,000 life points, but
Uh, 2,000 life points. That's laughable compared to
it's
what
certain.
we normally play as.
Oh, it certainly is. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Are there any particular shows that you prefer over the others?
Um, I really liked the one with you say
Oh, 5Ds.
5Ds.
That that
Yeah,
that one's my favorite too. That one was the more darker, more serious one. That's what I really liked about it.
yeah, that's what I liked about it too, and it actually finished in a way.
In a way, yeah, the four kids one did have its own ending, even though in Japan there was another season that we never
Yeah,
got. to me, also 5Ds felt like one of the only seasons where every character in the main cast actually did something.
That's true.
Actually participated in duels. And in the original series, it was mostly just Yugi and Joey doing duels, and Taya, Bakura, Tristan, and Duke just being the cheerleaders.
Yep.
And I don't remember too much about GX, but I don't know. Would you say that was the case in GX as well, or did all of them do their part?
Originally, like everybody was dueling in GX, but it just slowly faded out, and it was extremely powerful duelists started dueling, or the only ones left to
Yeah,
duel.
pretty much.
Hmm.
Also, later in the series, Jaden started getting more serious.
Yes, he started getting more serious.
This was especially the case like when he became the Supreme King. There was that, and then
Hmm.
the season we never got after he fused with Yubel. That's when he was more serious.
It was Ubel taking control, his Ubel's little dark side there, from what I know of.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that we never got that season because if you remember in Bonds Beyond Time, you can see that Jaden has fused with Yubel.
Yeah, it's he's welcoming it now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. To a lot of people who only watch the dub, they might not be. They might have that might have kind of confused them a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, and let me see. Oh yeah, and over the years they have made changes to some of the rules of the card game.
Oh boy,
I
yes, they have.
I believe the first anime to start showing these rules in Arc 5, whoever goes first cannot draw on their first turn.
Yeah, it downgrades the whole line from the beginning of the series. It's my I go first, my draw.
Yeah, they can't do that anymore. How do you feel about that? Do you like that or what?
Well, when I would when I would play and competitively, if you went first and you had your deck already working well, that first turn would probably be the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
So that draw propelled your deck for faster.
that's true. Yeah, that's why. I mean, if I were to ever start playing again, and I most likely will once Duel Links comes to PC, that'll be this winter.
Hmm.
If I ever start dueling again because of that rule, I might have to start going second because I usually like going first till I can start setting up. But yeah, I think without that draw, I mean that might hinder me a bit.
Hmm.
Or that also depends on what your opening hand is.
Yeah, if the opening hand is probably how you tell the game how well the game's going to go.
Yeah. Are there any tell the viewers what particular types of cards you like to use?
I I like to use warriors. Really, that's my specialty.
Yeah, the starting deck that you get in a Dual Transer is a warrior deck, and it's pretty good.
Hmm.
Like I remember one of my coworkers, he was one card type he was telling me about. Oh yeah, he recommended me using a Gladiator Beast deck.
Oh, I like gladiator beasts. The thing is, they're kind of slow compared to today's game.
Ah,
They worked really well when in their time,
mm-hmm.
and I still like using one myself. But in today's competitive environment, it's
They're a little
on the
slow.
slow side. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I believe you said one deck that you used often was a Six Samurai deck.
Oh yes, yes. That was probably the most fun deck I had in my competitive days.
Do you think that deck would still be viable in today's game?
I would say yes and no. Six Samurais are pretty quick, but the deck, one of the main parts of the legendary Six Samurai that made it really work was the Gateway of the Six, and that card got banned.
Oh,
At first, it was limited to one, and then it got banned.
Oh, okay. That's another thing that also changes the game often is the ban list.
Yeah, it keeps things from getting overpowered, but then when the game starts to change, as they have to shift that around.
Yeah. And so I believe you said at one point that Monster Reborn wasn't banned, but Premature Burial was,
Uh,
or was that someone else that said that?
I know uh, Monster Reborn was unbanned before. It was banned and then unbanned.
Yeah, at first I didn't understand why Premature Burial would be banned, but and not Monster Reborn. But then I remember if you use like a giant Trunade, Premature Burial will
Which
go
is
back.
also banned.
Yeah, which is also banned. Yeah. Premature Burial will go back to your hand, but the monster that it was equipped to would stay on the field, and
Yes.
then you could just use Premature Burial again and bring back another monster.
Hmm.
So from there I can see why it's banned. Okay, we're back. Had a bit of a hiccup there. So Mega, go ahead and tell me more about your six samurais. Like, go ahead.
The Six Samurais are a deck uh, is a deck series where it has a whole bunch of monsters of different types and abilities that work off of each other.
That's pretty interesting. And I'm looking at this one card you told me about called Gateway of the Six.
Yes, Gateway of Six. I mostly used it to get basically any monster out of my deck to for it to counter the situation I'm in.
Was there ever a point in time that this card was banned, or has it always been limited?
It had been banned for quite a while
Yeah,
because
reading its effects, I can see why.
because with at if I went turn 2 and my opponent never had an answer, I could probably overrun their deck.
Yeah. Damn. Mm. And I think I've already asked this, but I'll ask it again. If you were to run this deck today, do you think it would work well or not?
I would think it would be a nice run with because of Pendulum Summon. We're basically a will basically be on ground level by how fast the uh, we could summon monsters.
Oh, okay. As for my favorite, for those wondering if I had a favorite kind of deck or a preferred deck, I really didn't. I didn't get as many cards as the other guys did around the table, so I kind of just had to throw something together, which it worked most of the time. Hell, the people on the show kind of do that sometimes too.
Hmm. I like doing that myself these days.
Yeah, and you were telling me like how you were telling me that was pretty much what you thought Yugi's deck was. It was just a bunch of nothing, right?
Yes, Yugi's deck is a bunch of just mismatched cards. Some work together, some don't, and just because he's a protagonist, it works for him.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason it worked for him.
Yeah.
It's like hell, Duelist Kingdom, God, it was everything was a mess there. And then he started using what is it, those he had two mythical beasts that could fuse.
Yes, but that was just a part of his deck that it didn't affect the rest of it.
Yeah. Then later he started using the Magnet Warriors, which could also fuse.
Yeah, fusion summoning.
And let me see. I think it was a yeah. I think it was a bit later that he started using the silent magicians.
It wasn't that at the end.
Yeah, I think the only time he used them was at the final duel with the Tem,
Yeah,
because they had to make separate decks.
that's true.
Ugh. Hmm. Okay, but I will say one card that I like, and I know that you don't like, are the Blue Eyes White Dragons.
Uh, you brought that up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to bring that up.
Yeah. Just
Go
think
ahead
of
and go ahead and describe your reasoning.
the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Just it's a crush that people lean on, and it's not rare anymore.
Oh hell no.
It's a crush that people lean on to try to say they have made a powerful deck. And my thought is I'd rather not see him anymore.
It's it is one of my favorite cards, mostly just because I like the character Kaiba. But I do understand your reasoning because they have made cards that are just as strong as the Blue Eyes, but are better.
Yes,
Like
truly.
one of my favorites being the Ancient Gear Golem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I remember correctly, like, isn't it like with all Ancient Gear monsters, like that your opponent cannot activate traps during the battle phase?
Most of them.
Yeah, I think that one might have had it. Okay, yeah. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spells or traps until the end of the damage step.
Mm-hmm.
So it cannot be a special summon, and tax a defense position monster and inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Yes, that's a really good effect.
Except for the can't be special summon.
Yeah, that's one where if it does get destroyed, then you try to bring it back. Good luck.
Unless you have a card that says uh negate that effect. Yeah.
Yeah, which I myself didn't have too many of those kind of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And there's not that many cards out there for that.
Exactly. Hell, the only cards I had to bring monsters back were just Monster Reborn and Premature Burial and Call of the Haunted.
Mine was Gateway the Six.
Yeah, because
Oh,
yeah, your theme deck. Which I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Let's see if at the time of this recording is Monster Reborn banned.
yes, it is.
That's what I thought.
And that one kept flip flopping between being banned or not, or forbidden. Uh,
Oh yeah, you're right. Do you know if that's the case with Premature Burial and Call of the Haunted?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Premature Burial is forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, which speaking of which, you remember what that did in the anime? And by that I mean Call of the Haunted.
Don't know.
It was when Joey dueled against Bones.
Uh-huh.
He played it like a magic card, even though in the show you could still see it was a trap card. So right there, that's already cheating.
Mm-hmm.
It brought back all of the monsters that were previously destroyed on his side, but they came back as zombies that couldn't be destroyed. And if Joey
Oh,
did try to destroy them, they just got stronger.
wow. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Call of the Haunted is actually unlimited.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And let me see if how Giant Trunade is.
I think that one's still banned.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. All right. Are there any other types of cards that or decks that you like using back then?
Back then, uh, I did tell you about the Gladiator Beast.
Mm-hmm.
One newest deck types I enjoyed using was the Battling Boxers.
Hmm. Tell me about those.
Battling Boxers are a archetype that's about basically they are quick to exceed summon
Oh,
to
okay.
some very powerful monsters, and then they also like to negate your opponent's attacks and also uh, power themselves up.
Interesting.
They're all based on different styles in boxing and different things that happen in boxing.
As you guys may have noticed by now, he knows a lot more about the in-depth Yu-Gi-Oh stuff when it comes to dueling, a lot more than I do. You see, I'm looking at these battling boxes right now. I like how they look.
Yeah. Uh, I I got into the battling box because I actually like boxing, so
I had a feeling.
and they're warriors, so it helps too.
they're fire warriors.
Yep.
I'm sure that was a big help. Yeah, once I start playing Yu-Gi-Oh again, which like I said earlier, that'll be when Duel Links comes out on PC. I might try and build some new decks. Might try some of the ones that you've mentioned. See how they fare.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Uh, not really.
I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, we have.
Oh well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
I just thought of this. How long do you think they're gonna keep making Yu-Gi-Oh anime?
Forever. No, 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 no. It, it'll be around for a little while. Uh, I'm pretty sure Pokemon is still run longer than that.
The Pokemon anime is running way too long. Ugh.
Eh,
Ugh.
over 1,000 episodes, I believe, and he's still 11. Yes, I say 11 because he actually did turn 11 after Kanto.
Yeah, hell, it was during Kanto. They even say it's been a year since when they go back to Viridian City. They say it's been a year.
Yeah,
So
uh,
he's got to be at least 11 by now.
yeah. The misconception that he's only 10 is a strange one.
Yeah, it's I guess most people just ignore that particular episode.
Yeah,
And how do you feel that every time they make a new show, they add a new rule?
add a new role like in the new types of summoning.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, new type of summoning.
It's going to get
Do you think that's
it's going
always
to
going to
get
be a
heavy.
thing? Yeah.
And what they're doing now is, since fusion summoning is kind of outdated because of polymerization, they started making fusion monsters that fuse without polymerization.
They started making more of those?
Yes, it started with GX, but now they're really trying to get that running again.
Yeah, it's like you said, they're trying to speed up the game.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
trying to wait for a fusion and not getting one of those cards that are listed and or polymerization can ruin your day.
How back in we're gonna sound like totally old people here, but back in our day, I remember, yeah, you needed polymerization, and there was also a field spell that worked like it. I think Fusion Zone or something like that.
Yes, yes. They're
Yeah, back then
fusion zone.
you needed one of those two things, and then the material monsters in your hand and the field for that to work. But nowadays, like you said, now some monsters you don't even need polymerization.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the elemental heroes.
Yeah, I know. My brother's been using those lately in Duel Links because of the GX update, and yeah, I've always had interest in those. They've made a lot of elemental heroes. Some that Jaden hasn't even used, I believe.
The number of elemental heroes kind of rivals how many six samurai there are out there.
Oh,
They're both giant archetypes.
interesting. All right, I think that'll about do it for our discussion about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes,
Pretty much from what you understand, you know, like I said, we've played the game ever since it came to America, and we've experienced, you know, all we not experienced, seen all the changes that have come to the game and the show, and it's been a bit of a doozy.
Yep.
First, oh, go ahead.
You gotta keep up.
Yeah, it's one of those things you got to keep up. And so do you think any of the decks that we used back in school would they work today or not?
No.
Yeah,
No.
That's what I figured.
We were in middle school and high school. No. I know some of my decks when I went to college. Well, because they've been expanded on and kept going.
Yeah, that is true. I have noticed some archetypes of cards surprisingly have been expanded, which ones I didn't really think would be, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like how going back to the one You Hate the Blue Eyes, they've been expanded on, which I honestly surprised me. I thought they'd focus more on... Go ahead.
I just have to say this.
Go ahead.
Kaiba, your waifu is trash.
Because to be honest, I thought they'd focus more on like the archetypes that the characters from the newer shows were using, not really focusing on one from an old show. But I guess if it's a fan favorite, they're just going to keep going with it.
Yep.
It just makes them more money.
Yep.
Yeah. I almost feel sorry for the Red Eyes archetype, if that's even an archetype.
It's a very small one.
Yeah, not as big as the Blue Eyes. Sorry to all you Joey fans out there. Okay, then with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of Sparks Talks, episode 10. That was pretty good. I'm glad I brought you on here because you brought a lot to the table. Like I said, you're really in depth with dueling knowledge, a lot more than I am.
I played a lot longer than you did, but
yeah, I dropped out a lot earlier than my friends did. I will again thank you for coming on.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem, anytime. And thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned, there will be more episodes of Sparks Talks, and also stay tuned for my usual Let's Plays. See ya, guys.
See ya.
罰だ。もっと戦わせろやなあ。